Good morning from New York. Today I'm going to talk about loving progress versus the sickness of punishing minds. Yeah, it's. I'd like to address the what the channel is about, um, and here's a good statement that I worked out with Gemini. Inner Mind Communication is a YouTube channel dedicated to enhancing empathy and communication through creative role playing and meditation techniques. The channel explores the three primary forms of empathy: artist, creative empathy; counselor, objective empathy; and caregiver, compassionate empathy, rooted in pre-language skills such as play, which underlies creative empathy; focus, which underlies objective empathy; and expression of need, which underlies compassionate empathy. By cultivating these skills, as all of us, can develop a deeper understanding of themselves and others, fostering healthier relationships, a sense of inner peace, and a more progressive approach to social and political issues. So I keep pointing out, you can't be following this path without moving away from punishing attitudes, which are not progressive at all. You don't get progress that way. You get progress from fixing problems. Ask any scientist. You make progress by fixing problems, understanding the problems and fixing them. Yeah. And understanding what you don't know uh, is is a goal, I suppose. But how would you know what you don't know? So anyway, when things don't work, there's a problem. So again, fixing problems is what we need to address. Um, there's a sickness, and I started to seeing, how it existed in conservative minds, and that's so obvious there. They're very punishing in their orientation, which they're people who religion has them, but they don't have a religion. The religion has them. They're not free and thinking. They're enslaved. They're in a cult. Their religion is a cult. So if you can't doubt whether your most cherished beliefs, you're no scientist and you're no mystic. A mystic is someone who communicates in their mind, and that communication needs to be loving. And the only way it's going to be loving is being geared toward needs, real needs of human beings, at the very least. And that means you need certain skills like creativity, objectivity, and compassion in order to meet those needs. And you need to have empathy. That means you know, you understand the other person or yourself. This this whole presentation that I do is about reflection, beginning the communication of the progressive scientist inside you, starting in your own mind, and doing that with with these skills that are skills of love, which means meeting human need. There's nothing otherworldly or anything about this. There, there are some odd things that happen when people do these sort of things. You can become very sensitive, and there are odd paranormal seeming things that I've seen happening. The Buddha talked about that. Says, well, those aren't important, and I agree. It's just side effects along the way. Not the goal, and power corrupts. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you're a liberal mind or a conservative mind. If you're power mongering and greedy, you're sick. You're sick. If you're pushing your beliefs without any doubt whatsoever or open mindedness whatsoever, you're sick. And the problem in the world today is there's a lot of people who are sick that have a lot of power. That isn't always the case. I mean, some are in the average range, many of them. And people who are poor can be greedy and power mongering. Okay. So it's not a classist kind of thing. It's a love kind of thing, you know. The verses of the Bible come back to me a lot of times, and this is one from those who've been given a lot, a lot's required. How much is too much to own? Well, I think about a diet. An athlete will eat a breakfast that would kill me. The very big breakfast because they burn it up. They're using it. It's flowing. The love flow is there. They're giving back the energy, and so they need more. And there are people who are like athletes in terms of money. They're good at handling it, and they have that power. So we see them in government sometimes, and that's good. You need to, someone who can't handle the breakfast, the money, shouldn't be entrusted with it. Okay, I get that. But nobody should be left out of the picture of love. And, when the rich have so much that there isn't enough to feed all the kids, that's too much. You're not, where's the giving back? And some try to give back, but the thing is, power corrupts. So no one individual should have the ability, well, how much is too much power? You should not be able to buy the government. And, just having a law that says you can't do that, yeah, they'll find ways around it, possibly. So again, the whole thing is, this is a revolution of love, if you're in touch with the love flow, you don't want more than what you can handle. You're practical. You want the love to flow. You want to be able to handle what you're taking in and do a good job with your life, how you spend what you've taken in. And this is the path, the true path. The mystic. Mystics came along and basically, we're trying to do one thing, to cure damaged faith and love. That was the goal, I believe. And we've had some great mystics in the world. Some of them have not been recognized because they didn't create any kind of religious framework around what they were presenting at all, or no framework was created around their their teachings. But we have had many great mystics. Many of them are scientists. Um, and, you know, again, nobody's perfect. The greatest of mystics would be the people who have creative, objective, and compassionate empathy and a really good connection to human need and the abilities to, of course, to do these kind of have these kind of empathies is built on an ability to be playful, focused, and expressive of need. And blocked need is what happens in trauma. There is a need that is not met, that's causing damage. And wow, what you can cure from that is the helplessness, which is at the root of the ongoing trouble, the post-trauma, post-traumatic trauma. I'm gonna say trauma one more time. Um, the after the fact kind of punishing thing that happens. And that's a rather intricate sort of thing to understand. You got to understand that when there's helplessness, the brain jumps in to ease the anxiety because you really are helpless at that moment, or you think you are. And so the brain jumps in to help. And the brain is your higher power. If there's something more, okay, well, show me your evidence, but okay. Brain is the higher power. And we have a sense of it. And that gets wild. Do brain research. It'll blow your mind. Yeah. Anyway, when we are having the love flow, everything's good. But when it goes wrong, like I say, the brain jumps in. And it's not an agency kind of thing. It's not something that you control and says, oh, this is, in your mind, oh, this is too much. I will create this symbolic addiction to something that can fool me into thinking I'm taking care of the problem. Instead, ease the anxiety. No, it doesn't happen like that. So it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. Punishing attitudes don't work. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. More of that in a little bit. And what we're talking about here, this kind of I don't want to call it mysticism, but I should, really. Rational mysticism. This ability to grow and to wonder and to explore, that's, that's part of everything that we do as humans. But going back to the point of how the brain fixes the problem, well, I've already said it. It's a symbolizing of the need and the circumstances in a way that makes them more comfortable to you. And if the thing is really, really bad, And the only comfortable symbolic paste on is to become the oppressor. And, wow, you would be one mean, crazy guy. Yeah. So, but is that your fault? Is that the fault of this person? No, it isn't. Because, like I said, this is not an agency thing. You don't go in and, oh, this trauma has happened to me. And now, and then talkie therapy, it says, oh, this thing happened to me. No. To unlearn that helplessness, which means to cut through the symbolic and to make the function of that symbolic approach, which has become a survival memory, to make it impotent, so that original feeling, that original hurt, that helplessness to have needs met, it comes up. And the first thing that you realize is, oh my God, and you feel it. You feel it again, this time in completeness, more complete. Yeah. Because, and what I mean by more complete, the unlearning of the helplessness to feel it in the first place. And that takes time. It may take several passes. But when you've overcome that, then you can move forward. And, but you get into a next phase. You realize the thing that you were symbolizing was based on a need that is in the past. Whoa. And like everything in life, a new problem presents itself. You need to grieve that and let it go. That's another process. And there are grief experts out there. So I'm not going to go on and on about how you grieve. And people grieve in a lot of different ways. But you move on from grief to being able to forgive more, because that fight or flight, that anger, fear kind of thing that's associated with helplessness gets directed to people who do harm. And in the moment, you might need to use that, to save yourself. But afterwards, it's all done. If you're still suffering from that, you can't forgive, even though you should. But after you've grieved and you let the thing go, then you can forgive. You're not still hanging on to that thing and feeling in the moment angry and afraid. You've moved out of that space. I hope you understand that. You moved out of that space. Now it's a loss. And it's just, you've ever had grief, it's powerful. And so then you have to grieve and let go. All right. Leaving and let go. And again, grieving and let go means that you can forgive more. Be a more forgiving person, a less punishing person. After the forgiving, the most terrible thing to feel is how the unreality, this symbolic addictions in you, which are greed and power mongering in general, greedy for this and power mongering, to feel not helpless in symbolic ways. I want to be the president. There are good reasons to do that. But if you're doing it for power, like Trump, not good, not good. Don't give him it. Don't give it to him. But he's a sick man. It just is. Railing against him, wanting to hurt him. Boom, boom, boom. That's a sickness in you. Put him in a mental asylum. See if you can fix him. Keep him from doing any more damage. That's how a legal system should work. Okay, but the most terrible thing to feel is how the hurt in you, that helplessness generating this symbolic approach, has hurt other people, hurt their loved one. It's hurt those people, and it's hurt you too, as someone who can receive love. And you can hurt people by not being able to receive their love. And you can hurt people by not being loving. And those are the two most painful things, I think, that a person can deal with. And you can see how this process leads to this. And then finally, you're able to handle the remorse. And with the remorse, you have to begin to embrace a new life. Repentance. Okay, you're doing the right thing now because you want to, not because you were scared into it. That's fake salvation. So when you're doing the right thing because you want to, then you've got there. And as Jesus said, the law and the prophets, religion has been fulfilled. So the mystics are always taking you, even the ones who created some kind of religion, are taking you beyond religion. Religion points, as someone would point to the moon being the answer. Well, the answer is love and the love flow, which when it exists, you don't need laws. You don't need it. You're doing the right thing because you want to. And that's pie in the sky isn't going to happen entirely. It's a very difficult universe. People are being born again and again. I didn't mean that literally. It's just a lot of people are being born year after year. Okay. And, different scenarios, different problems. So we're never going to fully get there, but we can make things a heck of a lot better. And we can make things a lot worse and end the human race, which is what we're approaching right now. And not to be a progressive, that's a problem. And progressive, what do I mean by progressive? Means someone who wants progress in love, okay? Progress in fulfilling the law and the prophets, fulfilling religion, being more loving. When religion is fulfilled for a moment is when a big tragedy happens. Suddenly, all the people from the competing religions, sometimes competing, rush together to help. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? But that's a little bit of what Jesus said. I came to fulfill. And so that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to end this particular video today. I don't know when I'm going to get it published, probably sometime today. Well, right now it's morning. So until we meet again, consider what I've had to say, not blindly, but using your full heart and mind. And if you want to help the channel, subscribe, please. It would help get the message out. And share the videos that you like. Share the ones you don't. I don't need to tell you that, right? And comment. Your comments are welcome. And so, yes, that sums it up. May the road of love rise to meet you.